All right, so here we go. If you didn't watch the first video of this, we are trying out a brand new CrossFit movement, which I dubbed the Supine To Standing, the S2S, not STS. It drives me so crazy when I see people on a blackboard or on an online log abbreviate toe to bar with the T instead of the number 2. Just a pet peeve of mine. Take it for what it's worth. What am I doing in this workout? I am doing a CrossFit version of a Turkish Getup, right? So the Turkish Getup, you have the several steps in between where it's all very regimented. You come to your elbow, your hip, your knee, then you stand tall, then you come back down to your knee, your hand, your hip, your elbow, and you go all the way down. So how I standardized this workout or this movement to make it fit more of the CrossFit format was to standardize it by saying you have to keep the weight over your head at all times. The movement starts with both shoulder blades and your hips on the floor. Maybe just go with both shoulder blades. It would be pretty tough. It'd be pretty tough to have both shoulder blades on the floor and your hips not on the floor. So we'll just say both shoulder blades on the floor at the same time. And it ends with the weight extended overhead with our hips and knees locked out, standing nice and tall. Now today I didn't really feel, I was trying to decide what movement I wanted to couple this with. Did I want to do like a more cardio thing? Did I want to do a complementary movement? Or kind of like something that doesn't complement it as well? And I kind of went with the overhead walking lunge. Kind of expected it to burn out my legs a little bit more, and I have pretty good overhead shoulder stability, and with the option that I gave myself to be able to alternate hands whenever I want to, I figured that would be a good movement to pair this supine to standing with in my first little trial run here. So you might have been able to tell already that first set of 21 S2S's was not the easiest thing in the world. Here I'm using a 50-pound kettlebell, not a 52, not a 53, a 50-pound kettlebell, because last time I checked, I thought we were in America, so here we are using a 50-pound kettlebell, no kilogram nonsense. You can see Champ there. My puppy dog, he is a Chiweenie. He's cheering me on through this whole workout. He was a really good boy. He stayed out of my way and didn't get smushed by me standing up and sitting down really, really fast. So another concern you may have is like, well, how safe is this? Well, you know, you're gonna accept a little bit of risk every time you do a workout, especially if it's a CrossFit style workout. Anytime you go at a high intensity and put something overhead, you're gonna risk usually some shoulder injury, maybe some low back stuff, which I'm not too concerned about. You know, it's the stuff you sign up for. It's why you sign waivers, and it's why you take care of your body. You go see your chiropractor, massage therapist, get some acupuncture needles stuck in, you know, whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. You also need to understand, you know, biomechanics of your shoulders, when your shoulder is safe, and when your shoulder is in a vulnerable position. Okay, so what you may have noticed there is I finished a rep, so I set the standard to where the weight has to stay overhead from when you're on your back to when you're standing up, and that's one good rep, right? I chose not to make it where you had to lay all the way back down, and I kind of have run this around my head if that's the right thing to do or not, and I think it is. I think it's the right move, and the reason for that is I can go straight into my overhead lunges, and the other key aspect is you can choose to bring the weight down to your shoulder or to your waist or whatever you want to do after each movement, but of course you would be getting punished in terms of your time for the time it took you to get the weight back overhead. It's much faster and slightly less efficient to keep that weight over your head the whole time. So it's pretty similar to like maybe like a like something heavy. It's like a clean or barbell movement in that aspect, to where it is much more difficult to string the reps together, but you get rewarded with a much better score. Now we didn't time this, so I'll throw my time into the description. You can try the movement out on your own. Oh, but going back to how safe is it? My one safety concern I would have with this movement that I would warn my class before trying it, if you are going to do the CrossFit variation like I am, kind of just sitting back onto my hand, which I assume is pretty advanced. I wouldn't expect the majority of the regular CrossFit population to do it, but just have them be aware that you are kind of posting out on that hand in an awkward position. You can get kind of like a foosh, like a falling on an outstretched hand sort of injury from reaching back like that. So something you just got to be careful with. Make sure you have a soft elbow, something to be cautious of. And I am done with the workout. I was going to attempt to go straight into the interview portion after this, and I kind of gave it a go.
Ow.
And then I just kind of gave up. I was like, well, I'm going to take a rest here, try and catch my breath, because it was a hard workout.